Hi everyone, my name's Naomi and I am the Happy Bookkeeping Coach, and today I wanted to share with you my reviews of QuickBooks Online's receipt uploading tool as compared to Hubdoc, which is an application that you can upload your documents to, and it fetches your documents as well, which is great, and also you sync them into QuickBooks, and also ReceiptBank, which is another application that you can upload your documents and receipts to that pull and collect those documents, and you can sync them into QuickBooks Online. I'm going to do an in-depth review of a lot of the big hitters that are out there, but for my needs today, I found that both Hubdoc and ReceiptBank really checked more boxes than most. For the price, they were a really good deal. So let's get started. When I'm talking about document management applications, I'm talking about an app that allows you to take a picture on your phone and it uploads it to the cloud. And these specific ones upload to a place where you can sync them with your bookkeeping software, such as QuickBooks or Xero, or they do different ones sync with other applications, bookkeeping applications as well. And they do more than just that, of course. And QuickBooks Online, it also has a receipt uploader that you can take a picture of a receipt and upload it for entry later or syncing later, or for your bookkeeper to sync later. And you can forward, all of them allow you to forward emails as well, or drag and drop as is normal. Now, spoiler alert, ReceiptBank won. There you go. So if you're just looking for a quick which one should I choose, I'm telling you, choose ReceiptBank. But let me go into why I say you should choose ReceiptBank. So both Hubdoc and ReceiptBank also do an extra thing. They go ahead and they fetch, right? So you can connect them maybe to your utility online account, and they'll fetch the utility bills and pull them in so that your bookkeeper doesn't have to ask you for them. You don't have to go looking for them every month when you go to do your bookkeeping. Your cell phone, there's a huge list of vendors that they can fetch them from. Your bank and your credit card, they'll download the statements for you each month into a PDF right in there for you. QuickBooks also downloads the PDF of most, not all, banks and credit card statements, but that's only if you're on the Plus plan. So if you're on the Essentials plan, it doesn't do that for you. So another great reason to choose ReceiptBank or Hubdoc to help with your document paperwork management. Why then, if both of them do this, do I like ReceiptBank more? Well, ReceiptBank also connects to Amazon, and Hubdoc doesn't, and that's one game changer for me, because it's not the game changer. I'll share my screen and show you the game changer in a moment, but that's hugely important because Amazon, I find a lot of my clients are using Amazon nowadays. I use Amazon, I have Amazon Prime, and Amazon, especially these last couple of months, have gotten really bad with their email shipping confirmations. Yeah, it shows the tax. By the way, you never know what the tax is going to be. Amazon's a reseller, so if they're selling from like a small business that doesn't charge HST or GST, it's not going to get passed on to you. So that's something to be aware of, that you can't just back out HST out of everything that you buy from Amazon. On top of that, the last couple of months, their emails have been pretty bad. Like, they don't say what was purchased. Your stuff's on the way. I'm like, yeah, what did I get again? Like, it's just very frustrating. So that paperwork that people send me, they have to like type in, when they forward it, they say tools or whatever in the top. And it's not really a good document of what they actually purchased at Amazon. So being able to have ReceiptBank connect to Amazon and suck those invoices into the system is awesome. It was a bit of a fight because there's that two-factor authentication that Amazon had. I had to like push through that 2 or 3 times to finally get it working. But once it did, it was a beautiful thing, which I just want to like put out there. Get yourself an Amazon Business Prime account. Just if you own your own business, just do it. It's amazing. First of all, it's free. If you want it to be Amazon Business Prime, they say it's like 100 and something a year. But if you already have a personal Amazon Prime account, when you go to sign up, it's like, oh, you've already got personal Prime, so we'll just charge you $30 a year for this business one then. Which is like, okay, thanks. And on top of that, the business Amazon Prime account or the business Prime business Amazon account, you can add users. So you can add your office manager as a user and say, and they can put together an order, but only I can approve it, right? Only I can buy. Or you can say, oh, my bookkeeper, they can only look but not touch, you know, those sort of things. So that's right there. Get it. If you don't get these two things, get yourself an Amazon Business Prime account, and that's just going to pay itself in dividends in terms of how much time and effort and bandwidth and bookkeeping that you'll save. So that's my suggestion. And ReceiptBank links to it. So, you know, perfect right there. Hubdoc doesn't, and of course QuickBooks Online doesn't. So I did hint to, like, the game changer for me was the fact that ReceiptBank, yeah, they all read the name and the amount and the date. And they all have rules and, you know, AI that can track trends and say, oh, they're always getting gas at SO or something. Like, you can make rules, they see trends, that's fine. But right out of the box, right away, ReceiptBank can read the payment method. None of them, the other ones can't. And for me, that's amazing. Let me show you what I'm talking about so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. Make me over here. So here we're in the ReceiptBank app. Hopefully it hasn't timed out while I was talking. And if I go ahead and click on this Shop as Drug Mart receipt, you can see that the MasterCard ends in 5250. And down here, you can see that it recognized 5250. And when it did, I did play with this before coming online, I connected it to an actual ledger account, either a bank or a credit card, in my QuickBooks. These are directly from the QuickBooks file that I have synced. So that's awesome. And by the way, of course, when we sync these, whether it's Hubdoc, ReceiptBank, or QuickBooks, the actual receipt or PDF or JPEG, it is saved in the actual transaction on QuickBooks Online and probably Xero as well. So you can lose your receipt and it's okay because you got it backed up onto the cloud. If we go over to Hubdoc and take a look, Drug Mart, you can see that it doesn't recognize the payment method at all. So in this environment, you can see that's a little fuzzier, to be honest. But here's the things I've uploaded. Here's the picture in the middle. Here's the information it's extracted. And there's no payment method that it's extracted. Now, when I go to put in the information for it to go over to QuickBooks, that's when I can tell it how it was paid. Payment, there we go. So there. So that's how I would do it. I went really quick. It's actually a credit card. And then there we go. That's how I would do it. But you see, I have to click. Every time I have to touch it, it's annoying. I want it to do as much as it can without me. And then again, if we go over here to QuickBooks Online and we click on any receipt really, let's click on this No Frills. You can see it doesn't read it at all. And it's really small. We can zoom in, scroll around and have a look. So there's the payment method right there, and it just has no clue. It doesn't know. It'll recognize trends, but that's about it. So that was the game changer for me right there. That's one less thing for me to have to touch or do. I love it. Done. But wait, there's more. Date formats are something that is not like standardized anywhere. There's no rules. It's just what we're used to. So here in Southern Ontario, a lot of the people that I work with, we're used to how we say it. February 2nd, 2019, you know, 02/01, 2019. Whereas in Quebec, en français, c'est le 1er de février, right? Sorry, I can't speak French. But I do know that they say it in a different order. So for them, 1st of February 2019 would be the way that they'd want to read it, 1/2/19. Home Depot, they're across Canada, they're backwards. I call it backwards. They're day, month, year. And then if you open QuickBooks, like a new QuickBooks account, automatically it wants to go day, month, year. I don't know why. And so if you've got somebody who's billing you from QuickBooks, for example, let me show you. Here's a good example. The Happy Bookkeeper right here. Happy Bookkeeping Coach, I say. And then this is me. I just did a fake invoice up just for this example. And we'll pop it out. Look how I can just pop that out with a button. I love it. Notice how the date is 01/02/19, but you and me, as humans, we know that most things are 30 days. And look, the due date is 28/02/19. So you and me as humans, we know, oh, well, that's February then. Like we can just tell because of a few different rules in our head. And you know what? So did ReceiptBank, February 1st. Now I didn't read the due date right, but really it's the date that matters to me. And yeah, it got it right, and that made me happy. So what did Hubdoc say? Hubdoc, January 2nd. You can see right there, January 2nd. Now, it got the due date right, but it's the date that matters to me. It's not January 2019, it's February 2019. And so it got the date wrong, and I was like, even with the due date there, you couldn't figure it out, eh? And then what did, oh, and also, like, it's hard to sort of read, and you can zoom in a bit, like this. But you could also pop it out as well, so that is an option. And then you can zoom in from here. And then if we go over to QuickBooks Online, what did it say? Oh, if you're wondering how I got here, by the way, it's under banking or transactions, depending on the version that QuickBooks has decided to show you. Oh, QuickBooks. So then banking, and then there's receipts. So on your online banking section that you might be used to seeing, it looks like this with your bank feed right down there. You've got your rules, and then you've got your receipts. And that's how I got to this section. And then it didn't recognize my name, which I thought was hilarious, because it's literally an invoice from QuickBooks Online, and it couldn't read the name, it couldn't read the payment date, it couldn't read the tag, it couldn't read anything. I'm like, okay, I guess it's just good at receipts. And you have to zoom in like this and move around. Like, it's hard to, you can't pop it out. I mean, you could download it and then open it. Nah, too many clicks. I hate clicking too much. I hate clicking. I love tab, enter, tab. That's me. So it did have trouble reading the date in QuickBooks Online. So again, ReceiptBank won. I'm sorry, it's doing really well. You can tell why I like it so much. And again, we want it to do as much work for us as possible. And one of the things was, can it really read the tax? And so over here, there was a Value Village that I purchased that only had books. And so the books, of course, are 5% GST, the GST portion of the HST. So it's just 90 cents, it's just 5%. And so I wanted something to be able to read that and get it right. And this was what ReceiptBank did, is it read it, it pulled it out, just like that. It extracted it for me, like there's no more to say, it did it. When I go to Hubdoc, so right here, it didn't read it, it just assumed it was 13%, which is 217, which is not what it says. I can say extracted amount, but look, tax, it doesn't know. What do you mean you know? It's right there, 90 cents. Like, you have to like put it in. And then it like does the math and does the thing. And you have to generate it. And then you have to go here and look, it's putting some advertising in 11, and like it just, and then I have to save and close, and I have to go down here. And then I have to like, oh, anyway, I'm just saying, more clicks, people. I don't like clicking. What about QuickBooks Online? What did QuickBooks do? If we go to the Value Village receipt, here it is. It didn't read it. It didn't read it. So no, I'd have to put it in myself, which you can, like it's HST. It did the math, but I can type 90 cents in there. So I like that. And then you can put a memo here, but not when you upload it, right? When you upload it, that's when I want to put in a description or memo. Did I mention that? Yeah, ReceiptBank, you can put a description or memo in when you upload it. So let's go back. So here's a Shoppers Drug Mart one, for example, writing descriptions. I put that in from my phone when I uploaded it. Love it, love it, love it. Hubdoc, you can add a tag, not as you upload it, like you upload it and then you go and add a tag after. Ugh, but no description. And then QuickBooks doesn't give you any option at all, though you can add an expense from your QuickBooks app, in which case it doesn't go here, it actually goes in as an expense entry that just happens to have a JPEG attached to it. So that's, again, the limits of QuickBooks. So there's my review just of the interface of it all, but there's more. There you go. But there's more. For example, Hubdoc says it connects to PayPal, but I couldn't get that working. But ReceiptBank, I was able to get that working. And of course, QuickBooks Online doesn't. I mean, it connects like a feed if you want, but we're talking about the actual paperwork and documents getting downloaded. Also, ReceiptBank and Hubdoc, you can have different users, different multiple users. That was fantastic that I could have my accountant or my bookkeeper or my office manager just have a specific email to them, so they each have an email so you can see who sent in the different emails and documents that came in. And Hubdoc, you can also have multiple users as well. QuickBooks Online is more restrictive, but I think it's because of privacy issues, I guess, so I can understand. So you are limited to the users of your QuickBooks file. So if somebody is not a user of your QuickBooks file and it doesn't recognize the email it's coming from, it's like, nope, I ain't taking that from you. So you can only users who are officially QuickBooks Online users. So you can't have a vendor like email everything to a specific email for you. So that's a bit restrictive as well. So there's I don't know if it's unlimited users, but you have much more versatility with users with Hubdoc and ReceiptBank. So here's a quick recap of sort of the things that we've reviewed today and why ReceiptBank came out the winner. First of all, ReceiptBank can read the payment method and also assigns it for you automatically once you've set that up. Hubdoc and QuickBooks Online, neither of them can do that. ReceiptBank did better when tested with reading the date. That January 2nd versus February 1st test that I gave it, if the due date was February 28th, it figured out that that was actually February 1st. Hubdoc couldn't figure that out, and QuickBooks Online's receipt module just seemed to not really be very strong in reading at all. It tried. Tax, the ReceiptBank was more successful in extracting the tax amount from a receipt than Hubdoc was. And again, QuickBooks Online, though you can set it and put it in, again, you had to click it. It didn't do a great job in reading what the tax was. Amazon, that was the big game changer, along with the payment method, is the fact that you can connect your Amazon account to ReceiptBank and it will download the individual invoices from Amazon for you. And if you have Amazon business, just win-win. Make that happen. This is ReceiptBank. It just sells itself to me. Also with ReceiptBank, I could put notes in. I could take a picture of the receipt. I could add a note right in that interface without leaving or going anywhere else on my app. And that is a note either to my future self to remember what I bought, or maybe to a bookkeeper, or maybe there's a PO number or a job or something that I want to make a little note about. Hubdoc, you can add a tag, not a note. You can you take a picture of the receipt and then you save it, and then you can click on it and add a tag after the fact. So again, extra clicking, I hate it. And then QuickBooks Online, there was no tags or description. Also with QuickBooks Online, it only saved the document or picture or JPEG or PDF or whatever if it was associated with an actual transaction, whereas Hubdoc and ReceiptBank, they can go ahead and you can just archive or keep it in a separate place and not actually have a transaction associated with it. I forgot to say at the top that, in case you've just skipped here from the beginning of the video, is that QuickBooks Online, you can only upload receipts and forward, receipts through email and drag receipts. That's all it does, which is great. It's free. It's part of the QuickBooks environment. But ReceiptBank and Hubdoc take it an extra step, and they can fetch, and the fetch capability is huge. You can connect it to your utility accounts. You can connect it to your cell phone, and it'll fetch. It'll suck in those bills for you. It'll also download your bank statements and your credit card statements, and anything sort of online, it sucks it over for you. Like PayPal, it'll try and suck over those things if you want to connect that as well. Whereas in QuickBooks, though, it can download bank statements and credit card statements only if you're on the Plus plan, but if you're on the Essentials plan, it doesn't do that. It just downloads the transactions, like the info. It doesn't actually have the actual PDF statements with the cleared checks, unless you're on the Pro Plus plan, in which it does the bank transactions. Most banks work and credit cards work. But again, with Hubdoc and ReceiptBank, it doesn't just do the bank and the credit card, but your utilities and your your cell phone and all those things, and PayPal will suck those in as well. And then switching between accounts, very easy to switch between. If you have more than one business, it's easy to switch between businesses on your QuickBooks app on your phone, and on Hubdoc and ReceiptBank, you have to have two different logins to have two different businesses, so you'd have to have like two different email addresses. But with the Hubdoc interface, you have to like literally log out, then log in and put in your email and put in your password. Whereas with ReceiptBank, it's much easier to switch between accounts in the one app. So again, ReceiptBank is winning out. And the users, ReceiptBank and Hubdoc, you can invite all different types of users. Anyone can forward to the email. ReceiptBank, you can make special emails just for like every user has their own unique email that you can design and make up, as long as somebody else isn't using it already. It'll accept those emails from those email addresses. Whereas Hubdoc, everybody just sort of uses the same email address, even vendors, send it to my Hubdoc, whereas QuickBooks Online, you're limited to the users of the actual QuickBooks Online file, and not even your accountant. It has to be like a regular user. And then it'll only accept emails from that email account, which is restrictive, but I think on purpose, because they're sensitive to data privacy, and they don't want just random people emailing you information into your QuickBooks file. So the level of authorization there is a little higher, but more restrictive, because it's only QuickBooks users that can send in an email now to your QuickBooks receipts. So anyway, so those are the pros and the cons and the pluses. Oh, and as of October 2020, Hubdoc $20 a month USD, ReceiptBank $31.25 USD a month, unless you go annual, then it's down to $25. And QuickBooks, of course, the native one, which is just receipts. That's just free. Well, part of the price anyway. All right, guys, thanks so much. If there's one that you've used that is better than ReceiptBank, I want to hear it. I want the world to know it, because using these different apps and technologies and processes in our lives is just going to help us be more efficient and help us have more time and have more accurate numbers. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye now.